Well, here we are again. Your boy Dustin at Flying Chariots to Rise with my good friend Jack from Chicago. And yeah, he's back with us again to tell us what's been new since we seen him last. I think it's been before Christmas and New Year's. So how was New Year's and Christmas?
Oh, it was pretty good.
Was it?
Not much to report, just hanging out and stuff. How about for you?
It was good. I it was pretty low key. We partied pretty hard at my mom's house on Christmas Eve.
Well, that's how you're supposed to do it, right?
Exactly. Went heavy on the eggnog. But no, it's the new year. And yeah, I thought we just, chit chat, kick the shit. And I saw that recently you did an investigation. Can you tell me
Yeah,
where that was and how it went?
sure. So that was in Cicero, Illinois, which is a suburb just outside of Chicago, and it was called the Evangelical Church. And so basically, what it is, it's a psychic church. The Reverend is a medium psychic, and so a the church is it's what's known as a spiritual church. And so basically what that is that the spiritualist movement was a movement that began in the mid 1800s, and it reached its peak from the mid 1800s to the late 1800s. And basically the spiritualist movement emphasized communication with the dead. So you could be any religion, you could be Christian or Jewish or Muslim and still identify as a spiritualist. So during the spiritualist movement in the late 1800s, this is when like Ouija boards and seances became popular. So that's so yeah, the spiritualist church, that's what they emphasize there. So they have like workshops, classes that's run by the reverend, and they have a lot of seances there. And throughout the decades, they've been doing seances at this church. So we believe that that's one of the reasons why that it's haunted, because they possibly opened I don't know, a gateway or a portal or something, but there's a lot of activity there. Besides it being a spiritualist church, prior to that, it was actually a funeral home. So there you go. So
Oh, shit.
that's an added reason why it's possibly haunted. Um, One of my first investigations I did was actually at the Cicero Evangelical Church, and that was a long time ago. And since then, I've done several investigations. A lot of times when I'm on a podcast, I'm always asked like, "Well, what paranormal experiences you've had, or have you had?" And to be honest, I haven't had too many experiences, but one of the very few experiences that I have had was at this church, and
Hmm.
this was maybe about 2 3 years ago. I don't really remember, but it was four of us in the basement. It was me and these three other investigators, this one other guy, and these two women. So it was the four of us in the basement, and we were just kind of chit chatting. It wasn't even about the paranormal. We were just kind of chit chatting and laughing, and we were in a part of the basement that's known, like it was kind of like a kitchen area, and then outside of that is this long hallway. And then once you get to the end of the hallway, there's staircase to go upstairs. So when we were chit-chatting, I hear a whistle, like this four-note whistle. And we immediately stopped, and I said, "Did you guys hear that?" And they heard it. What's really interesting, and you come across this in a lot of like haunting experiences. One individual didn't hear it, but the three of us heard it clearly. So I don't know why that is. I don't know how that happens. But the other guy who was with us, he didn't hear it. But the other two women, like you could tell that they heard it because I saw their face and they saw my face.
Right.
So immediately after we heard that, I said I went to go investigate it, the hallway, and sure enough, there's nobody there, you know. Um, so I don't know what that was. I never say that I've had a paranormal experience, but it's certainly an experience that I can't explain.
Wow.
So just a couple weeks, or just this past weekend, yeah, that's where we were. We went to investigate there, And as you know, I rent out places and haunted locations, and I open it to the public. So it was nice because there was a couple people there that's never investigated before, and I love bringing new people. I love seeing their face light up,
Yes.
especially when it's like a kid or like a teenager. I love seeing their face light up when they come across something that they can't explain. So yeah, we had a couple new people, and I gave them the EMF meter. For your audiences that don't know what that is, the EMF meter is an electromagnetic field meter, EMF. And
Okay.
basically what that does, it detects disturbances in the electromagnetic field.
Mm,
So for example, if you were to put your phone by it, it's going to go off. Or if you put it by an outlet, it's going to go off.
mm.
But it needs to
Okay.
be right by it. So if the EMF meter is going off and there's nothing around it, then you possibly could have something. We
Sure.
never say for sure, but you possibly could.
Right.
So that was nice. It was nice that we had a new people and we gave them the EMF meter, and we actually did have an experience. I don't know if it was paranormal. Maybe there was a rational explanation, but I'm not sure. But some of us were in this one room, and even I heard it, one of the doors rattling. And then maybe, I don't know, maybe 15 seconds later, the door kind of opened on its own.
Oh shit.
And I saw it happen. Again, I'm not going to say it was something paranormal. Maybe it was some air compression. Maybe the vents did it. I'm really not sure, but it was awesome. And just to see people excited when that happened, it just made my night. Just to see them excited, it was awesome.
Yes. Yes.
Um, you know, Me, myself, and the other ghost investigators that are there, I could tell you that there's no fakery. There's nothing that we do on our end where we
Mm.
kind of like try to make things happen for other people. We never do that. So when something happens and somebody can't explain it, it's close, probably genuine. I don't,
No,
so
no, you're right.
yeah,
Especially this church too that has a long history of death around it.
yeah.
Especially being was it a morgue? You said.
Yeah, well, it was a funeral home, yeah. And in the
Okay.
downstairs, there's an actual embalming room,
Mhm.
a former embalming room. So yeah, we get results out of there. We get results in all the rooms. Um, there is a mirror in in the church, and it is known as a black mirror. And the black mirrors, they're used in occult practices. So what they are is usually they're made out of obsidian,
Mm,
and obsidian, kind of in the spiritual field, it's considered to ward off negative energy.
mm,
Well, occultists will use it to communicate with the other side. So at this church, they've actually used this mirror for seances. They've done seances out of this mirror, and a lot of people will report that they see images in the mirror. A couple years ago, when I investigated there, it was me and another woman in this room. We were the only ones there. The other people were in different parts of the building, and she took a picture in the mirror, and she goes, "Jack, you got to look at this. Look at." And then so I went to go see, and there's a shadow in the background, and it was awesome. It was awesome, and it wasn't me because I was on the other side of the room,
oh
and we
shit.
even tried to recreate it. I went back to that spot, and then I even went to the spot where the shadow was to recreate it that way, even though there was nobody there. But even recreating it that way, you could still see me and not a shadow. So it was really interesting.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. Talk about bizarre and getting your like skin crawl out.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like shit.
Yeah, I love it.
No way.
It's an adrenaline that I just keep pursuing. So yeah.
Well, stepping a little away from the ghost thing for a second,
Yeah.
let me go back to it. But I was thinking about what do you think about what happened in Miami? You hear about
Yeah. Yeah, man, that's really
what's your
interesting.
opinion on? that portal opening up, and then these three shadow like beings coming through. And then I heard people who were there who had concealed carry were shooting at these things, and they were glitching while they were getting shot and shit. And
So
like,
I heard a lot of that. I don't, here's the thing. Ultimately, I don't know. I'm not
right,
sure.
yeah,
Um, what makes me a little bit skeptical is a lot of this is coming from TikTok.
hmm,
And I'm just very skeptical with a lot of things that come from TikTok.
sure,
People are always showing me videos from TikTok about the paranormal, and it's like it's clearly fake. Now, I
hmm,
did watch the video
hmm,
and I saw what people are saying about it. One really interesting thing about this incident is that there's no camera footage from inside the mall. And you
hmm,
would think that there would be loads of it. I
hmm,
think I think somebody allegedly did say that there is camera footage and like one person uploaded it, but like there's supposed to be dozens,
sure,
like so I find that really weird that there's no camera footage. There's no signs of people taking out their phones and recording
true,
this because the conventional story is that there was a huge fight or something in the
right. Some
mall and
kids
that
fighting,
people
yeah,
were like they were shooting fireworks at each other.
right, right.
It's like
But
nobody
then,
got this on
it,
camera.
right, and that, and then you see all that the police presence. There's like over like 500 cops. You know what I'm saying? It
Yeah,
looked like the whole state of Florida, just,
yeah,
was there. And like,
yeah.
um,
I saw that footage and there was so many cops there. There was
so it
so
makes you
many.
wonder, like, why would they send that many cops to that spot?
Yeah,
And then I heard there's another video where this guy calls his dad, and his dad's a Miami police officer,
right.
and he couldn't to say to his son what happened. He had like it was just hush mouth. And
Yeah,
he's like, "Come on, dad, what the fuck? Like, what the
right.
hell
Yeah,
happened?" He's like, "This guy say nothing. What the
yeah.
fuck?" So again, like, this could be the slow drip of this, and I heard another, I don't know if you heard this too, where this woman said that, a portal needs a, point A to point B. And she's like, she took the coordinates from the latitude and longitude of the mall and
And it
then put
goes
it
to the
and
South Pole.
reversed it.
Yeah,
Yeah. And I found that kind of interesting too. It's just like,
yeah.
is there some correlations of some weird shit that's just about to pop? And then that, I don't know if you saw, um, Jimmy Carbell released a military video
No.
from 2018 just recently, a few
Oh,
days ago.
honestly, I didn't
You
see
should
that
check this
one.
out. It's called the Jellyfish UFO. This is over Iraq, over a military base. And it's just filmed, just going right over the base, and then it dives into the water for 17 minutes, and then it shoots off like a rocket into the sky.
Oh, wow.
Yeah,
That's really funny because I remember him talking about the footage a while back ago, and he says that he wants to release it, but he at that time he hadn't released it.
actually, it's another one he released. He has two
Oh,
jellyfish ones. That one's he did release, that first one you're
okay.
talking about.
Yeah.
And then yeah, this one's recent. He said he had to dig deep to get this one. They were really
Wow.
trying to hide it. Um,
Oh, I wish I saw it before I got on here. Sorry, but
oh no, that's all right.
I'll
You should
definitely
look it up.
watch it afterwards. I'm
Yeah,
excited
I can
actually.
send you. I'll send you it was in the news, and then Nick Pope
Yeah.
uh did a little segment of what he thought about it.
Oh, okay, cool. Yeah, these
um,
jellyfish UFOs, they're really interesting.
right?
I'm
Russia
fascinated by
has
them.
Russia
Yeah.
has like a history of those jellyfish UFOs too.
Well, and obviously this is purely speculation on my part, but if they exist, what I think it is that I don't think that these jellyfish UFOs are being piloted by anybody. I think these jellyfish UFOs are themselves a sentient being, you know.
Hmm,
Um, People see jellyfish UFOs, all over the world. And like you said, for some reason, so there's something about Russia where people have seen them a lot in Russia.
hmm,
So there is this idea. I don't know if you heard, but this was actually right before COVID. These group of like I think they were like meteorologists, they were scientists, and they wanted to see is are there any life forms living in the upper atmosphere. And so they created some sort of like machine, and they I, I'm messing up the details here, so you're gonna have to bear
Mm.
with me.
No, that's fine.
But you guys, whoever's watching this, you could look it up. Like it's like this is an actual scientific experimentation that was done. They had this machine and they had it float up to the sky, to the upper atmosphere, because they wanted to see are there any living life forms
Mm.
living up there that are like invisible. Maybe they're really small and they're
Sure.
just invisible. Well, they got some results back and they discovered 11,000 little life forms came back.
Wow.
And it's really interesting because COVID happened and they
Mm.
didn't get to finish the experiments. So
Mm.
they actually scheduled to for the last time I heard about it, which was just maybe I think a couple months ago. They're actually scheduled to finish this experiment off and to get more data. Um, but yeah, that's really interesting. So my point in saying this is that there is a lot that's living in the upper atmosphere, and what if these jellyfish UFOs are one of those things?
Yeah.
Um, that's just kind of swimming around up there, invisible.
I was gonna say it kind of reminds me of the movie Nope. You ever seen that?
Yeah, yeah, I did see it.
Like,
Yeah,
and like that thing was more of a like you said, like a sentient being
yeah,
itself. Like it was eating people and digesting its like jewelry and coins and stuff. It's people's clothes and stuff.
yeah. And it looked very like fish-like, or
Fish
like
like and how it
yeah,
moved and like how it can like
exactly.
go invisible and then
Right.
like even towards the end it like totally had like the jellyfish,
Yeah,
like
exactly.
the appendages on it.
Right. The tentacles.
So
Yeah. So
mhm.
that, I think, yeah, I'm really, what's unfortunate is there's not a lot of work that you could find on jellyfish UFO sightings. There's a little
No,
bit, but there's not a lot. So I'm
no,
waiting for somebody to write a book on that.
yeah, right. It
So
should.
I've
It's a good
even thought
eye.
about it, but like I was like, there's not enough things to put in the book, you
It's
know?
true.
So
It's true.
yeah.
And it's like even like the octopus came from a fucking asteroid that came here millions of years ago, crash landed here, because there's
Yeah.
no record of them uh having ancestors here. And that just shows too that it's possible that creatures can be on asteroids and then crash land here where it's like a perfect planet to inhabit it, to grow and to whatever it
Okay.
is.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's amazing. And yeah, shit. I don't know.
Yeah. No, I hear you. Like all of it I'm fascinated by.
Right.
Yeah.
Wow. And then like people want to clone like the dinosaurs and the woolly mammoth too. I think that's gonna be happening soon. I don't know, like maybe Japan or somebody's pushing that pretty good. Because are they doing like hybrid, half humans, half animals, like fucking Dr. Moreau?
You know what? I talked to somebody about this not that long ago,
Okay,
and I basically we were talking how like I bet you there's all these like underground laboratories
sure,
that they've been doing experiments like that for years. I
sure.
mean, look at what Joseph Stalin supposedly tried to create a hybrid of humans and apes because
Yep,
he wanted to create a super soldier,
yep,
you know. So, and that was what in the 1940s.
yeah.
So
I
I'm
can't believe some of
sure,
those women got impregnated with that shit too, and had these
yeah,
like freaky ass babies, or
yeah,
probably
exactly.
didn't last long. But, oh man, can you imagine the
I
fuck?
mean, I think yeah, these chimera type creatures. I'm
Hmm.
sure it's been happening all over the world in these secret laboratories. And honestly, I wouldn't even be surprised if they actually accomplished something.
Sure,
Well, they say that that's what Dogman is,
right?
like the Beast of Bray Road in Wisconsin and
Yeah,
the Dogman in Michigan. They say that they're, government experiments. I don't know. Personally, I just feel like it's more of a supernatural creature, but
sure.
could be a government experiment.
Right.
I don't
I
know.
mean, it's not too far fetched when you're having whistleblowers talking about they're hiding stuff from us, and
Yeah,
it's fucking out of this world. And it's like
yeah.
we are living into a sci-fi movie now, and I love it.
Oh
It is like
yeah,
it's like a whole different like change the pace of life, knowing that like shit's about to pop here soon. Either
yeah,
nuclear war or them coming down and saying what's up, or they're gonna come down here and saying we're gonna fuck your ass up.
yeah.
I
Whatever's gonna happen, it's gonna be really interesting. What do you think? Do you think this year, 2024, do you think this
think
is the year?
this might be
Yeah,
because there's so much conflict with like us
yeah,
in general. You know what I'm saying? With like this war, and I think war, brings more UFO sightings in general. I mean, like
yeah.
World War II, especially. Never
Yeah, the
seen the
Foo
Foo
Fighters,
Fighters.
yeah.
Yeah. Hmm.
So,
Yeah. Actually, my my grandpa's brother was one of those bombers, like the
oh really?
gunner on one of the bombers. Yeah. So it's like one of those flying coffins, and he never said he saw anything like that.
Yeah,
But I can you imagine like this?
right.
Hell no, just being in a flying coffin going slow, and you can you really hope those motherfuckers don't take you down.
Yeah.
Oh
Oh, the
man,
adrenaline that comes with that, you know.
I can imagine, right? This is like
Ghost hunting
those
is
are
one
some of like
adrenaline, but
right. That's like almost as close as kamikaze as you can get without
yeah,
like being suicidal. But you have to be a little suicidal and nuts to do volunteer for that shit.
yeah. Stupid
I
or
don't
brave, you know.
know. Or they'd be the ball gunner, this that
Right.
tight squeeze and shit. Oh my, shit. Did did any of your family fight in the war?
Yeah, my grandfather,
Yeah.
actually. Yeah, he fought in the war.
Hmm.
Yeah, he had some really interesting stories. Um, my grandfather actually had a UFO sighting actually.
Oh, let's hear it.
He was living in Colorado on a ranch, and I think this would have been the probably either the 30s or the 40s. And he said that it was at night, and there was these three bright objects that were relatively close to the ground, but still pretty high up. And he said that they looked really strange, and he was just staring at them, and eventually, just like nothing, they just kind of just shot up into the air and shot up, and they disappeared. So
Oh
it was,
shit.
yeah. So I don't
That's
know.
interesting. That's
Yeah, it's
interesting.
it's interesting. Yeah.
Yeah. I was gonna
So
say, yeah, I had family that fought in the war. Obviously World War II and even the First World War. My great grandfather fought for Italy to fight the Germans, and
oh,
he got
nice.
he got he got his leg blown off by like a cannonball or some shit.
Yeah,
Anyways, he thought he was gonna die, but he said he saw an angel that sat on his chest, like a little baby angel, and so it was calming him down and stuff, and said that he's gonna make it and stuff like that. But it's the
yeah,
fact that he said he envisioned this angel on his chest while he was sitting on the battlefield or laying on the battlefield, one leg blown off. And then sadly, after well, he had his son after the war. His son was in North Korea, my great uncle, and
okay,
he got his face blown off, half his face blown off. He's still alive. He's 93 years old, but half his face was blown off from a grenade when he was in a foxhole. And he, uh, when he started to wake up in the foxhole, he saw that he was surrounded by North Koreans that were stabbing and with their bayonets into the dead, and some of the other living guys are wounded and stuff like that. And then when it was his turn, when he had that one eye on his face that didn't get blown off,
yeah.
the soldier stuck his boot inside of his wound, and he passed out. And when he woke up to hearing an American voice saying, "Is anybody alive up on that hill?" He shot his hand up, the one hand that he had up.
Wow.
They grabbed him, and they saved him. Yeah, they brought him back to Japan and fixed him up. He was blinded, and he noticed that he said he's telling me these stories. He said he was bandaged up. He couldn't see anybody. He wanted to speak his native tongue, his Italian, and
Yeah,
he was speaking with another nurse who's an Italian. And when he finally got the bandages off and he had that one eye, obviously he found out he was a black guy. And he's so surprised that a black guy would know Italian
Yeah,
in Japan. In Japan,
right.
at that time, he's like, "What the fuck?"
Yeah.
But again, it kind of made sense too because after during World War II, Ethiopia was getting invaded by Italians and shit like that, and so I think that's where I guess that guy was Ethiopian and he learned Italian after being invaded by the Italians during World War II and shit like that.
That
Very,
that's funny that
yeah, funny.
it's the at that point he wasn't worried about his face. He's like, oh, there's
Yeah,
a black gentleman that speaks Italian. Okay.
yeah, yeah, exactly. He's just so blown away. He's like, "What the fuck?" uh, but no, it's awesome. But yeah, yeah, it was he actually broke down during that story. Um,
Yeah.
and my parents got pissed at me. Why'd you ask him to tell you that shit?
Oh
It
wow.
was like I wanted to hear it from his mouth.
How
You
old were
know,
you?
it was probably 21 when I heard that
Okay.
story. Yeah, that was the right time. But again, he's like 93 years old right now. Again, just to have he's got these humongous scars down his arms, and he's got half his face blown off, and he's got one eye.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's awesome.
Your grandfather, he's the one that had the angel sit on him, right?
My great grandfather.
Your great grandfather.
Mhm.
Has he had other experiences?
I don't know. I've never talked to him personally. I only met my great grandmother,
Okay.
and they all spoke Italian, and,
Okay, yeah.
like very broken English. Um, but no, my mom would always tell me stories of what they would know. They were religious, so I mean, wouldn't be putting past them.
Yeah.
But yeah, like crazy. Just the fact that like you're a victim of war and you have your son that's gonna have his face blown off, on the other
Right.
side of the world too. It's just like it's this weird coordination. It's just like
Yeah, exactly.
hope my ass don't go there and get something blown off. You know what I'm saying? It's kind of like that what is that, Forrest Gump, where that one trooper or that one sergeant
Yeah,
is like, all my family members died on the battlefield, and that's how I'm gonna live.
yeah, Lieutenant Dan. Yeah.
Yeah, that. He's like, he's yelling at Forrest for like dragging him out. He's like, "You
Right.
fucking idiot! I'm gonna
Yeah.
fucking." That
You
movie's
know,
great.
what's really interesting, when you just mentioned about your great grandfather
Hmm.
and the angel sat on his like chest, I was
Hmm.
kind of thinking how like people will have sleep paralysis and
Hmm.
a creature will be sitting on their chest,
All
you
right.
know?
Yes.
So like I wonder if there's some sort of like connection, like you have to be in some sort of mental state
Sure.
for that for that being to enter and specifically sit on your chest.
Sure. No,
But
I
yeah,
get that. Or like the fact of like, yeah, you're right. Like you don't know if you're on your way to death. I mean, you're letting it go. So
yeah,
something letting go inside of you opens these doors of realms of different things that can come in and interact with you.
yeah,
You
exactly.
know, oh, how
Yeah.
crazy. Hmm. Or
Well,
like
that
how I
makes me. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
was gonna say like how cats kind of know and sense death coming. Like they can sit on someone's chest themselves, and someone's about to die,
Yeah,
or they
yeah,
see spirits themselves. Or why did the ancient Egyptians worship them? I mean, they had some sort of purpose too. I heard too in the it's really rare in the animal kingdom to have slit eyes too.
right.
It's just kind of weird, and they hiss like a snake. I
Yeah,
don't know. So inbreeding with some snakes here.
right. Well, maybe the ancient Egyptians, maybe they revered cats because they knew that cats are close to the other side because
Sure.
they're able to communicate with the other side or at least see the other side, you know?
Right. Right.
Um, I mean,
And,
think about it. The ancient Egyptian cat goddess,
mhm.
Bat. What's her name? Bastet, I think.
You know more than I.
I think that's what it is.
Yeah.
She One of her attributes is prophecy.
Mm,
So, prophecy, cats being able to see the other side. There's some sort of connection there.
true. I like how even Constantine did it in the movies where he was about to go flip to the other side to hell. And he's like, he's even saying the cats are like halfway in, halfway out or some shit.
Yeah.
And no, it's perfect too. Like it makes you wonder too, like why would they even use that correlation? And they did their homework on that movie too.
Oh yeah. Yeah,
And they're
definitely.
coming out with the part two. Did you hear about that?
I did hear about it. Yeah. That's
Man,
awesome.
oh, I can't wait.
Did
He
you
snapped.
did you ever see the Constantine of the TV show Constantine?
Mm-mm.
Yeah, he's played by a British guy. And it that Constantine is actually closer to the comics because he had blonde hair, he was
Mhm.
British,
Okay.
and he had a long black or long brown trench coat. He was actually really good Constantine. So Keanu Reeves' Constantine is good, but this other guy, I forgot the actor's name to be honest. But if you ever get it only lasted one season. But if you ever get a chance, it's a worth a watch.
You know,
You
and
know,
I thought who played Gabriel was bomb too. Is that girl?
yeah,
Oh
yeah,
man, she killed it. She fucking killed it. And I loved her outfit too when she was in the hospital with all the fucking
yeah,
uh,
exactly.
oh man, she snapped. They snapped on that movie. They did it
It's a
so
really
good.
good movie. Yeah,
Oh my God. And then that even the devil too, how they portrayed him.
yeah, yeah.
Uh,
Constantine
uh,
was always one of my top superheroes.
yeah.
Yeah,
Well, I
I
love
just
how
go ahead.
no, I was gonna say his tattoos. I love how he uses
The
his tattoos
tattoos,
to
yeah.
like to get some of the angels to help him.
I just like that he just didn't give a crap about
No.
the demons and he would talk back to them, and that's a
Yes.
lot of fun.
Yes.
So,
Yes. No,
so
man,
yeah,
they did that movie so right. Even like this right from the beginning when they like found the spear of destiny in that like wrapped in like Nazi flag, right?
yeah,
Because it's
yeah,
like it shows too that the Nazis were all trying to find like the ancient relics to
right.
win the war and stuff like that. Man, I just thought they just did such a great job and did their homework.
I wonder who would win in a fight, Constantine or Doctor Strange. I
Yeah,
think that
right.
would be a good fight.
That'd be a good fight. Hmm. That'd be awesome. Doctor
Any
Strange.
paranormal news coming out of Wisconsin?
On that, I,
Anything
I
recent?
should, you know what? I should just dig a little bit deeper. I should ask Barnaby Jones what's
Yeah,
new in the paranormal world. Yeah, I stay more focused on the UFO stuff mainly, and then just finding people on this podcast to interview.
right. Yeah,
I don't know.
that's how
No,
you're learning
no,
about
I
other
should.
stuff.
I should.
Yeah.
Well, that's why I have people like you coming on my show telling me what's up.
Yeah. But
Yeah, we got. I'm sorry.
no, go ahead, go ahead.
I was gonna say we definitely have to have your girlfriend on here soon
For
because I'd
sure.
love to interview her and how she got her start in the field of the paranormal.
Oh yeah, she'll be able to like tell you stories and stuff. Ask her, make sure you ask her about Bachelor's Grove
Okay,
because she has a good story about Bachelor's Grove.
just grow.
So
Okay,
yeah. So
cool.
for those that are not in the know, Bachelor's Grove is it's a cemetery in right outside Chicago, and it's in Midlothian, Illinois. And the cemetery goes back, I believe, to like the 1850s. And so it's an abandoned cemetery now, and it's really been desecrated over the decades.
Hmm.
Um, so there's more buried there than there are headstones because a lot of people have stolen the headstones.
Oh wow,
And there's an alleged disappearing house. There's there's a ghostly dog, a ghostly car. There's all sorts of things. And my girlfriend has a good story that she experienced there. So you're gonna have to ask her about that. I don't want
that's
to give it
cool.
away.
Okay.
So yeah.
Well, when you do come visit me in Madison, there is one hot spot that I'm sorry, ghost hunters and investigators like to go visit. It's called the Ohio Bar on Atwood Street, and
Okay.
it's has a long, long history because the building's been there since like the late 1800s. But it has like a long history of weird phenomenon, like
Yeah.
and paranormal shit. Like there's weird fires that would start out of nowhere. There was multiple suicides in this building, and there's been it's a bar, so bottles would be flown off the shelves, and um, stools would be flipped out, you know, just weird, bizarre shit, and doors would be slamming
Have you
enough
been there
where
before?
well, I have. They
Yeah.
actually, it's really cool. Actually, it's kind of like they kind of stick with their morbid theme of being haunted and stuff like that. They have like doll heads and weird shit in there just to kind of creep people out a little bit more. Um, but yeah, they actually serve good tacos there too. So if anybody wants to go, Ohio. But yeah, they had multiple you have ghost hunters. I was gonna say UFO hunters,
Yeah.
ghost hunters.
And
They
UFO
go to this
hunters.
place and do do their investigations, and they find out a lot of weird stuff that happens there. So
Yeah, I
that's
definitely gotta
probably
check
the
that out.
most.
Yeah.
Yeah, actually, there's a book I should go look for it. What the title is? Something about haunted Wisconsin, and it has like all the addresses of all the haunted houses that like people can go visit and take
Oh, that's
tours at,
awesome.
stuff like that. I should go look where that is and maybe get a copy for myself. Cause yeah, I actually never ever done a ghost hunt or anything like that. Daniel used to do that a lot,
Yeah.
um, in this past. So
I've
yeah, I
done a
love it.
couple in Wisconsin, and I definitely gotta ask you to come on board sometime.
Well,
You
please.
know, I did the Brumder Mansion in Milwaukee, Wisconsin
Oh,
recently.
cool. Okay.
So,
Never
and
been.
that's a really active location. So,
Sweet.
we definitely have to. I'll be doing it again in the spring. So
Okay.
I'll invite you. I would love to have you
Let's
there.
do it. Let's do it this spring.
That'd be awesome.
That would be dope. Yeah, because
Yeah.
Milwaukee's not far from me. And I have family in Milwaukee. Again, I love Milwaukee.
Yeah.
Who doesn't like Milwaukee?
And then
I
even
might be.
Madison, right?
Oh,
There's
I love
places in
Madison.
Madison.
Oh man,
Yeah.
there's houses here. I'm pretty sure. I had to just do my homework. I just again, I'm sure there is a bunch of haunted houses here, and we have a lot of Indian mounds too. Do you find that Indian mounds might have some hauntedness to them, or
Yeah, I think so because a lot of times you come across Indian burial mounds and there's all sorts of activity associated with that.
sure,
You know, even right here outside of Chicago and by the Willow Springs. Willow Springs is a town right outside Chicago, and there's Indian burial mounds. Well, they say that the whole town was once like Indian burial landscape,
oh shit,
and ironically enough, there's all sorts of activity. There's several buildings that are known to be haunted there. So, so yeah, I think there's definitely something to the which makes me wonder though, because I wonder why just because Native Americans buried their dead there, it would be haunted. But I suppose maybe because like just like a lot of our graveyards are haunted.
true.
But
And
I
I was gonna say, I thought it's always kind of like a curse if you disrupt an Indian mound. That's
you
why
know
like
what?
the
That's
poltergeist.
actually
Poltergeist is like a good example of like you fucked up coming on my coming up on my burial.
that's a really good point. I think you're onto something. And just to piggyback off that, maybe I wonder because there's a lot of rituals, a lot of ceremonies that were done in Native American culture. So I'm wondering, did one of their funeral ceremonies enchants these burial places. And
Sure,
maybe that's why they're often associated with paranormal activity.
sure,
So,
sure. So,
yeah.
or like they knew that the white man was gonna take over the fucking take over the land, so they're like, well, let's make some fucking cursed land mines here.
Right.
they,
Right.
they dig some of this shit up, they're gonna be cursed.
Yeah. Yeah,
And
there's a lot of UFO sightings that are connected to Indian burial
yes,
mounds.
yes, they are.
Ghostly activity. There's a dogman sighting that's seeing like a dogman digging Native American burial mound. So
Oh
I mean,
shit.
yeah, there's all sorts of activity with these mounds. You know.
I think there's a place too in Wisconsin. They have a graveyard where it says some of these victims in this graveyard were attacked by dogmen
Oh,
and killed
really?
by dogmen. Yeah. I should
Oh,
find where there's a video of this guy that has a video of the headstones that
if
reads
you
that was killed by these.
Yeah, if you find
werewolves.
it, send it to me.
Yeah,
Yeah, that'd be awesome to check out.
I will. I'll have to. Yes, I'll find it.
Yeah, no problem.
um, but yeah, again, it's very, very interesting. All of the cryptic creatures, even
Yeah,
like I think you heard of Rock Lake, where they have 10 pyramids on the bottom of Rock Lake
I have
by
heard
Lake
that.
Mills,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
they have a cryptic creature there too. They call it Rocky. Is that
Oh, and here I didn't know about that one. Yeah.
The Loch Ness monster there? Apparently, there might be like a vortex or a portal that comes in and out where this thing kind of, I don't know. I think
So
it's too small of a lake to have a big little monster in it. But the pyramids are awesome. I'm all
yeah,
about that. And the fact that
yeah.
like the early settlers that came here saw these pyramids poking out of the lake, and they asked the Native Americans what these were, and they said that they're the stone teepees of the ancient ones. So they were there before the ice age, obviously, to be
Right.
totally submersed in the water.
Yeah,
So
well, it goes back to ancient civilizations that have now been lost.
yeah,
You know, there is a researcher, I believe his name is Frank Joseph,
yes,
and yeah,
I
he
have
he
two of his
actually.
books.
Oh, do you really?
Hmm.
Oh, yeah, he talks about Atlantis possibly being in Wisconsin.
Yeah. Hmm.
That's I find that fascinating. I have
I
no
did.
idea if it's true, but yeah, I
No,
love it. So
yeah, I think it's because it's just these lost cultures that just had these like mysterious endings, especially at like Land,
yeah.
where they came from afar. They had different clothing. Some of them had elongated skulls, and they started building pyramids. The shape that like the Aztec used to make, and they built this gigantic wall, and they waged war with other Indians, and they practiced cannibalism. And then one day, out of nowhere, they just dropped everything and disappeared. And there
Yeah.
was no trace of sickness or war or nothing. They had tons of food, and they had that little river that ran right behind it for fish and shit. I was like, what the fuck? So again,
Right.
the most mysterious part was just, and then they had the princess there that they buried with a bunch of seashells that they took a trip all the way to the Atlantic Ocean to collect to bury with her.
Oh, really?
Right?
Oh, that's awesome. I didn't hear
Yeah.
about that.
Hmm. They actually have. I I think in Frank Joseph's book they have pictures of her where they dug her up. I think
Do you remember
in
where
the
she was
80s or some shit.
put in
Huh?
now? Do you remember where she's at now?
Oh yeah, she's at Aztlan. Yeah. She's at the burial mound at Aztlan
Oh,
there.
okay.
Yeah. Um yeah, they actually have like a little museum there too at Aztlan where they archaeologists have dug up stuff there. And they have like mammoth bones and
There's so much in Wisconsin that
so
I gotta
much.
check out. There's so much.
There's so much, dude.
I mean, I know you and I we talked about before. I went to Burlington Woods,
Oh yeah.
but there's all sorts. I still have to go to Elkhorn, Wisconsin for the Beast of Bray Road.
Yes.
There's so many things in Wisconsin. So
You should go
honestly, I
to
wouldn't be surprised if Atlantis was part of Wisconsin
right.
because there's just so much paranormal activity there.
Oh here. Actually, I think I pull up some pictures of we're talking some shit. Wah, wah, wah. There we go. So we can look at a few things we're talking here. Sorry, give me a second. All right, there we go. So this is asked to land from the sky. This is the pyramid of the sun, two-step decker pyramid there. It's huge. You see the little people there.
How far is this from you?
I'm not sure. I didn't take these photographs.
Yeah, I would love to check that out.
Yeah. No, it's just beautiful.
I'd like to meditate on there.
Oh, that'd be awesome. Yeah, I guess some like remote viewers there too or something.
Yeah.
But yeah, this is the man mound. The, this is what I call the astronaut. That they or trying to entice to come back. Because even like the Native Americans even say this is a powerful god. And you're like, you gotta think to yourself, what powerful god? Especially that one that looks like this, like bulbous and
Yeah.
like astronaut like.
So I'm not
And
familiar with this one. Is this an ancient creation or
yes, I think it's got more information here. But like right here, it says powerful Indian god.
yeah.
It's like what?
Oh
This is
wow.
about like 1,000 years old. Yeah.
Wow.
But again, very alien, very astronaut like. And the thing
Yeah.
that, and it reminds me of like the Nazca lines for being so big and you're trying to entice something from the sky, right?
Yeah, exactly.
You really can't see it from the ground. Like this is I took this picture here. They don't cut the grass that's on top of the mountain, obviously. But again, you really couldn't tell what the hell it was. Enough where someone made a road right in front of its legs, and knowing it's a fucking mound.
Yeah, why
Back in
did
the,
they make a road that goes through it?
it happened in the early 1900s.
Oh
So
wow.
again, they didn't really know and really didn't probably didn't care, especially the white man there. I think some
That's
Native
a
Americans were
shame.
like, it's like, hey, you motherfuckers.
Yeah.
There's some they at least painted the legs on the street.
Well, that's something, right?
It's something, right? And this is Dundee Mountain. That's fun. The hottest hotspot in Wisconsin, where UFOs have been landing and hovering over.
Have you been there?
For I have. They have actually. We should all go camping. You go camping at all?
It's been a long time, but I'd be up for it.
Yeah, they actually have a beautiful campground on the base of the mountain, and then they have a few trails that go up to the mountain. It's pretty cool
Did you
outlook.
experience anything?
Didn't, unfortunately. Just
Yeah.
the knowing that it was just a hot spot in general is just
Yeah.
awesome to be there.
Oh yeah, for sure.
um, yeah, Native Americans actually call this Spirit Hill because there was so much weird phenomenon happening, even in ancient times.
How far is this from Madison?
It's an hour and 45 minutes.
Okay.
And this is near Dundee Mountain, too. This is the UFO headquarters at Benson's Hideaway. And this place is awesome. And I was very honored to get to meet this guy before he died. He died
Oh,
a year ago or 2 years ago. But I went 5 years ago for the first time. And I heard about this guy having his own little, it's like a bar slash headquarters. And it was straight up like, it's like X Files, straight up. And everybody in the bar was just talking UFOs and nothing else. And it's just UFOs, everything in
oh,
there.
that's
It's just
awesome.
like old news clippings. And there's been documentaries at the property. They have Dundee's UFO parade at Benson's Hideaway.
Yeah, there's a lot of
Um,
parades in Wisconsin for UFOs, right?
there's 3 towns to have yearly UFO parades.
Awesome.
Yeah. So again, it's like it's the real shit. If you're having, that's him, yo Bob. Yeah.
What did you guys talk about? What did he have to say?
Oh, yeah. He had his own photo album of what was taken over the lake nearby and over Dundee Mountain. It's pretty impressive stuff. Um, yeah, he's again very enthusiastic when you talk about UFOs. He just lights up.
Yeah,
He's just like, oh yeah, okay, let's go.
right.
And I tell him, what I was getting into and stuff like that. And he's thought it was cool that I came all the way from Madison to come see him and check out
Oh,
his
that's
his
awesome.
bar and stuff like that. So again, I was very honored. I
Yeah,
got a T-shirt from him too. It was really cool. So yeah, again, I was very happy I got to meet him before he passed. So
yeah.
yeah, does Chicago have any UFO parades, or do they have any towns that claim to
No,
have some weird shit happening over them?
no, which is unfortunate because there's a Orland Park UFO sightings that took place around like 2004, 2006. I shouldn't know the exact year. I can't. It's one of those, but it was right outside Chicago, and over 100 people saw this thing. And so you would think that, people would celebrate it or something like that, but no, nothing.
Hmm. Well, they have a lot of ancient culture. Um, they had those gigantic pyramids there, and I forgot exactly where in Illinois, where the Mississippi culture was part of
Oh,
that.
the Cahokia Mounds.
Yes, those
Yes.
gigantic mounds.
Yeah.
Yeah, they had like a giant village with these mounds and pyramids. Do you know
In
more about that, or do you go visit that?
I haven't gone to visit it, but I really want to. Yeah, it's so this mysterious people, the Mississippian, um, what they say is the Mississippian Native Americans,
Hmm.
but they don't know exactly who they were. They don't know, where they went. It's kind of an enigma. I mean, if you ask anthropologists about it, I mean, they'll give you an answer, but honestly, it's just theory. Like we don't actually know what
When I
happened to
I
them.
heard they might be had some connection with Aztalan. Like
Yeah,
Aztalan was a post of some sort to the main part of Illinois there.
yeah, it's really interesting because I think a lot of these ancient cultures they knew so much,
Yeah.
and they had connections with other life forms that we don't now. It's really sad that a lot of this knowledge is kind of gone. Or maybe
Yes.
it's hidden away and we're gonna rediscover it. Hopefully, that's always
Right.
my hope.
Yeah.
So
Well, yeah. Well, I believe that Native Americans know the most, and they're going to keep their mouths shut because that's the only thing they have left that
yeah,
this that another culture hasn't taken from them. They know the shit. And
yeah.
something's going to happen sooner or later. And I'm glad that you and me are here and getting front row seats to see this shit happen.
Well, I'm glad that when it happens, we know each other.
Yeah, definitely, dude.
We could keep in touch
Yes.
and then just yeah, like you said, just watch it all burn down.
Yes. Yes. No, that's really cool. No, again, yeah, I think I might try to make that May conference or gathering in May.
Uh,
The Chicago one.
that's June 8th.
Was it June 8th?
Yeah, June 8th. Yeah.
Okay. Which one did I see in May? There's another one in May. Do you know this one? It's like a Star Wars theme looking one. It's called the Rebels of Disclosure
And that's in
in
Grafton, Illinois.
Grafton, yeah,
Oh,
Illinois.
that's not
Yeah.
even near Chicago.
Oh, it's not. Okay. Yeah.
No,
I don't know where anything is in Illinois.
I know.
I always think I always think that these little towns are like the suburbs of Chicago or some shit. That's
You know
close
what?
enough.
You know what? Skip that one and just come to my Chicago Paranormal Convention on June 8th.
Okay.
It'll be from
Okay.
12 to 7. We're gonna have presentations there. We're gonna have about 80 vendors. It's gonna be a good time.
Okay. That'd be sweet.
Yeah.
Okay. How much are tickets? Or is there a cover
It's just a
charge or?
it's a dollar entrance.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's where it's at.
Yeah.
Cool. All right.
You can't beat that.
No, I can't.
So
That's a deal.
yeah.
Let's see. Why don't we save some other stuff for later? Because I think we still have a lot to talk about, but I want to have you back on and have you as like another future
Dude, I wanna
co-host some other
yeah,
guests that I have on. And
I
that'd be
wanna
really
keep
cool.
coming. I
Oh, can
definitely
you?
want to keep coming,
Could you could you come? Come on.
Yes.
Get over
Oh,
here.
I'm coming
Get your
right
ass over
now.
here.
I'm coming right now. Yeah.
No, that'd be great. Yeah, we'll have Daniel on some of these too, because he likes you and he
Yeah.
uses a lot of what you've given us in knowledge into other things that we talk about with other guests and stuff like that. So it's really kind of cool, especially like we talk about when like spirits cling on to you and they like
Parasitic
parasitic. Yes,
things. Yeah.
yes. He
Yeah,
brings
he
that
he
up.
liked that one. Yeah.
He brings that up all the time. It's stuck in his head. Like, damn, that's such good wordery.
Yeah.
Why don't you stick with me for 2 more minutes?
Sure.
And yeah, it'd be fun.
Okay.